As soon as we hear the word magic, our ears perk up and we get curious about amazing things, like pulling a rabbit out of a hat or turning water into wine. But did you know the real magic is hidden within us? It's called telekinesis, and it's the power of your mind that can change your life. Think about it. Have you ever felt anxious about failing an exam or felt like your life was stuck? Things aren't going great, but Telepsychics can help you out of these problems. It gives you the power to find solutions to your issues, achieve success in life, discover your hidden talents, and break free from illness, failure, and deficiencies. You can also find happiness and peace of mind. Surprised to hear that? You're probably wondering how it all works. Telepsychics connects you to that ultimate power hidden inside you, which you can think of as your subconscious mind. It's the power that knows everything and sees everything. Your every wish can come true. Now the question is, how do you practice telekinesis to gain control over yourself? Let's find out some tricks and tips. First, stay quiet and trust yourself. You need to calm your mind and believe that you have infinite power within you. When you call out with trust, your subconscious mind will definitely respond positively. Focus on your thoughts. Whatever you think can become your reality. So, always think positively and fill your mind with happiness and success. Keep creating visuals and pray. Praying is the best way to connect with your subconscious mind. You can pray about your desires and needs, and your subconscious will respond to you through your dreams. Imagine. Imagining is also an important part of telepsychics. Picture and feel the things you want in your mind. For instance, if you want to pass an exam, visualize yourself passing with a good score. Take action. Telepsychics doesn't just mean thinking about things. Things will start happening on their own, but you've got to put in the effort to reach your goals. When you use telekinesis, you'll find that your hard work pays off more than ever. Luck won't work against you. So what are you waiting for? Start practicing today and change your life completely. You'll discover that you have a magical power inside you that can help you achieve anything. This is just a little info about telekinesis, but it's a really detailed concept that you can grasp well. If you implement this, you can reap many benefits. If you want to know more, make sure to listen to all the episodes of this book. It goes into detail about telepsychics and includes plenty of stories that show how telepsychics have changed people's lives. I believe that telepsychics can bring you as much happiness and success as it has brought me and others. So let's experience the magical power in our lives today and learn more about telepsychics and how to practice it in the next episode. Don't forget to join in. Who knows, this story might just give your life a positive twist. In the first episode of Secrets of Ages, you learned how we can use telepsychics to make our lives successful. Now we're going to find out how telepsychics reveal the secrets of ages. The fear of black magic, voodoo, and other dark forces is something we all carry inside us, and it often comes from not understanding the true nature of power. We know the biggest secret of our generation, the realization that only one power exists in this world, and that is one God. Everything good and bad comes from our own thoughts and beliefs. The real power is internal. It's within us. It's not some external energy or ghost. We realize this power when we understand that there is only one God, who is invisible and the source of the universe. This understanding gives us complete control over our lives and luck, because it helps us connect with that supreme power inside us. As kids, we're filled with basic thoughts, and we grow up with the fear of God and the devil in our minds. The story of God and the devil is often told to explain their presence, but it's time to move beyond those basic ideas and embrace the truth that there is a universal God of love within us and all around us, always guiding us. The powers of the universe and nature aren't inherently good or bad. They're just tools that can be used for good or evil. It's our thoughts and intentions that determine how these powers manifest in our lives. When we choose thoughts of love, peace, and harmony, we invite positive experiences. Negative thoughts lead to negative results. Judge Thomas Stewart reminds us that when we rely on any external power, no matter how beneficial it seems, we open ourselves up to fears and doubts. This fear weakens our connection to our true power and blocks our success in life. We should always have faith in our own strength and reject any negative thoughts that come our way, like a false curse or voodoo curse. Negative thoughts only have power over us when we start believing in them. If we buy into them, we give them power, and that affects us. When we believe in these curses, we activate them in our minds and then we end up being afraid of them. The real power lies in recognizing the limits of these thoughts and choosing to connect with our inner infinite love and strength. Being free from fear means rejecting negative thoughts and breaking free from that cycle of fear, allowing us to experience peace and happiness. Winning over the fear of debt means recognizing yourself and embracing a positive boomerang effect, like the story of that young lady shows. Negative thoughts and curses always come back when we hold on to jealousy and anger. This creates negative energy that ultimately harms us and those around us. Choosing love, forgiveness, and compassion is a great way to attract positive experiences and live a happy life. The power of love is like the true love between a husband and wife. It's like an unbreakable power that can't be destroyed by any outside energy. When we connect ourselves to God's love, we become invincible to negative thoughts and get to experience the true power and joy of unity. Negativity leads to hate, anger, and negative emotions inside us, which can be destructive forces, causing physical and mental illness. To maintain good health and well-being, it's super important to develop positive emotions like love, peace, and happiness. Moses and I are from the same source of power and nature. The evidence of the power to recognize God is shown in Moses' lessons on the unity of God. By rejecting the belief in many gods and evil forces, he shattered the illusions of the priests in Egypt and revealed the true power of a united consciousness. Becoming a straight-line thinker means fully connecting with your internal energy, rejecting all external sources of power and authority, and trusting in the divine presence that guides and supports us. By connecting with this power, we can find harmony, peace, and abundance in every aspect of our lives. Let's experience the great secret of the ages. Understanding it helps us live fearlessly and authentically. By recognizing our true inner strength and choosing positive thoughts and beliefs, we can create a life filled with love, joy, and abundance. Remember, your power is always within you. Use it wisely to build a life that reflects your inner divine light. In this episode, you learned how telepathic ages reveal secrets, but the really interesting part is just getting started, and I'm sure you're curious to find out more. Let's find out how telepsychics actually work. Don't forget to catch the next episode to learn more. In the last episode, we talked about how telepsychics reveal secrets about the ages, but the really interesting part is just beginning. You'll find out how telepsychics can work for you. The author shares several real-life examples showing how telepsychics operate and help turn your thoughts into reality. Once there was a guy who was really troubled by his wife's infidelity. His wife had left him for someone else, and he couldn't stop thinking about how she could be so unfaithful. He felt like he had been treated really badly. But maybe it was his negative thoughts that were somehow reaching her. His bad vibes were affecting her indirectly, and that negativity was a big reason why she left him. One day, he met a super talented guy and shared his problems. The brilliant guy told him that our mind is like a garden. It's like this: the seeds we plant determine the kind of fruit we get. If we sow negative thoughts, we'll only reap negative results. But if we plant positive thoughts, we'll get positive outcomes. This rule applies to everyone. It's not different for anyone. Hearing this made the man realize that he was responsible for what happened with his wife. He decided to change his mindset and started thinking positively every day. He kept focusing on happiness and a better life for his wife. Her positive vibes slowly started to change her wife's mind, and she decided to break off that new relationship and come back to her husband. Their lives became happy again. There's another story that illustrates the effects of telepsychics. This one is about a young student who used a special method to find a good life partner for her marriage. Every night, before falling deep asleep, she would think about the kind of partner she wanted, someone just like her. She kept telling herself that her life partner should be religious, kind, and honest. As she thought about understanding lies and someone who would always care for her, she drifted off to sleep. That night, she dreamt of a guy who was almost her age, holding a book. She instantly felt like he was the one she would marry, even though she had no idea who he was or where she'd find him. But she was totally convinced that this dream would come true. About 2 months later, when she attended a religious event, a guy sat down next to her. She turned to look at him, and it was the same guy she had seen in her dream. She had a Bible in her hand, and then they talked, and about a month later they got married. Isn't it a bit unusual for someone to have dreams about their future partner ahead of time? This young student knew the rules of her mind and was aware that the thoughts that come to us just before we sleep sink deep into our subconscious. Later on, everything seems to happen according to those thoughts. Sometimes, when our conscious and subconscious minds connect creatively at night, that's when we have those dreams. There's another story about a guy who always thought that bad luck was just following him around. He was convinced that some kind of curse was at play. A fortune teller even looked at his palm and told him that dark forces were working against him, which freaked him out even more. He felt like everything in his life was a mess and that there was no way to fix it. But then one of his relatives explained to him that all his failures and problems were just a result of his negative thoughts, low confidence, and pessimistic mindset. He decided to take action, so a relative suggested he pray daily, and he went for it. He started praying every day, saying he wanted his day to be filled with happiness, success, prosperity, and love. He aimed to bring positive experiences into his life. At first, he didn't really believe his prayers would work. He was just doing it for his own peace of mind. But he kept trying to think positively and engage in positive activities. And gradually, he began to notice changes in his life. He started finding success at work, made new friends, and happiness began to come into his life. For example, one day he went for a job interview and was really nervous, but he kept positive thoughts in his mind and repeatedly reassured himself that he would definitely get the job. After the interview, he found out he got the job and was over the moon. He called up his relatives and said, "What you told me is true. My negative thoughts ruined my life, but now I'm positive, and my life has changed." End quote. All stories teach us that our thoughts shape our lives. If we think negatively, everything in our lives will be negative. But if we think positively, we'll get positively in return. So folks, those were some stories related to telepathy that prove that positive thinking leads to success every time. These were just examples, but next we need to understand how telepaths can tell you about your future. So stay tuned for more insights from Joseph Murphy. In the next episode of Telepsychics, everything related to telepsychics is based on real-life examples. The impact of telepsychics can be seen in various situations, and these examples prove it. There was once a young businessman who started practicing telepsychics to make small profits in the stock market. Every night before bed, he would tell himself, "Show me the best investment in these gold stocks so I can understand everything clearly." He worked on this technique every night and also spent the day absorbing all the information related to gold stocks. One night, while studying and researching, he had a dream where a man appeared in front of him. This guy had a chart that listed all the gold stocks that were about to grow. The chart showed both the current and future values of each stock. As soon as he woke up, he quickly bought all the stocks he saw in his dream. After a while, those stocks skyrocketed just like he had dreamed. He sold them and ended up with a nice chunk of wealth. For £1,000, as a pharmacist, he could never make money. But since then, he has bought back many of those stocks at a lower price to make more profit. How did this happen? Was it magic? No, it wasn't like that at all. It's more about the magic of our subconscious mind. The guy who showed him that in a dream was actually tapping into his subconscious, which presented things as he imagined them. Spending all day studying those stocks and thinking about them was like his subconscious providing a proper solution through that dream. The author continues the story by sharing that a few months ago, a young woman came to see him for counseling. Her father had recently passed away, and she was the rightful heir to his estate because her mother had died many years earlier when she was about 8 years old. Her father had taken her to Hawaii, where they visited all the islands. He told her that he had bought 3 plots of land that would someday be hers, as he had purchased them just for her. However, he had passed away before that could happen. After he left, she didn't get any documents or records, and she had no idea which island they were talking about because she never brought it up again. After understanding everything she said, the writer suggested she relax at night and clear her mind. He told her to imagine she was talking to her inner self. He explained that through this process, called Telepsychics, she could find answers to her questions, and it would really help her. So the lady did exactly that. She went to bed every night thinking about it and repeating some questions. The kind of thoughts you have before you sleep really matters. If your thoughts are filled with trust and confidence, and if they're emotional too, your subconscious mind will figure out how to respond. She repeated the technique for about 2 weeks, and after a while, She said that her dad appeared in her dream and answered all the questions she had while she was dreaming. Her dad told her, "I'm going to solve your problems right now. All the details and sales contracts related to the property are kept in the house Bible that your grandma used to read. Check page number 150, where you'll find a small envelope with all the information you need. I'm listening to you, but I'm leaving now. I'll see you again." It's your dad speaking, so don't think this is just a dream. At that moment, the girl woke up. With a sudden a bit startled, she cleared her ears and tried to go back to sleep. She tried to go back to sleep, and once again she saw her dad in her dream. "Remember what I said," he told her. "I'll remember," she replied. Then the girl woke up and immediately rushed downstairs. She started looking for her grandma's old Bible. After searching for a bit, she found it in the cabinet. She quickly opened to page 150, and there it was, a small envelope containing all the documents she needed. In black lettering, she read the words. The grandmaster, who had attended the sign for her with several his mates, she pulled them out and saw they were the details and sales contracts for the 3 plots of land her dad had bought. Seeing all this made her really happy. Finally, she had tracked down her father's legacy. She safely stored the documents in a secure place and scheduled a meeting with her lawyer for the next day. The lawyer reviewed all the documents, confirming they were original. He informed her that she now had full rights to her property. Hearing this made her really happy, especially since she had sought help from Telepsychics to solve her problem. There's another example that highlights the results of Telepsychics. In this story, a gambler used Telepsychics and made millions. There's a guy who uses telekinesis to win at horse racing. Every night before bed, he studies the race listings and then asks his subconscious mind who's going to win. He often dreams about the races and sees who wins. When he wakes up, he remembers his dream and bets on that horse. With this technique, he wins a lot and makes a ton of money. There are different ways to use telekinesis, like finding lost people or lost items. You can use it to learn about future events, or it can be a powerful tool to help you achieve your desires and improve your life. But for the best results, it's super important to practice telepathy the right way. You should sit in a calm place with a peaceful environment to clear your mind. Connect with your thoughts and ask yourself any questions in simple language so your subconscious mind can understand. Then pay attention to the answers your subconscious gives you. You'll need to keep accepting it. If you follow all these steps well, you can successfully use Telepsychics and bring positive changes into your life. Telepsychics is a powerful tool that can be used in many ways. It can help you tap into your subconscious mind for information, give you insights about future events, and even connect with people who are far away. If you want to practice Telepsychics, you'll need patience and regular practice. You need to learn to trust your deeper self and believe that you can succeed. Every night before going to bed, talk to your deeper self and ask it to help answer your questions or solve your problems. Focus on your dreams. They often provide signals and guidance from your subconscious mind. Meditate daily to calm your mind, which will help you connect with your subconscious more easily. If you practice this regularly, you might even tap into your psychic abilities. We can master this, and it can help you live a fulfilling and satisfying life. You've learned how Telepsychics can make your life better, but what's the science behind it, and how does it answer so perfectly? To find out, stay tuned for our next episode on how Telepsychics reveal answers. In the last episode, we discussed how Telepsychics can solve all the problems in our lives. Continuing from there, we're going to explore how Telepsychics provide all these solutions. Dreams create a unique world filled with mysteries. They can scare us, make us laugh, or even offer solutions to our problems. In this episode, we'll explore how dreams, through telepathy, can provide us with answers and change the direction of our lives. To understand this, let's listen to a story that starts with a question. Why do we dream? The author explains that dreams are a play of our subconscious mind, which is why they are different for everyone. Every person, even animals, dream. Just think about it. Almost a third of our lives is spent sleeping, and during that time, our dream world is active. The author gives an example of a psychologist who could control his students' dreams. Whatever he suggested to them, they would see in their dreams. This shows that our subconscious mind is sensitive to any suggestion and reacts based on logic. Most dreams are just reflections of our thoughts and experiences from the day. Dreams are like reflections of our subconscious mind, which takes in everything and then shows it back to us in a different light. Psychologists like Freud and Adler have done a lot of research on dreams and the subconscious mind. While they don't totally agree on what dreams are or how the subconscious works, this episode will help clear up those questions. Instead of getting confused, you'll see how dreams often bring solutions to your problems. There was once a young teacher who went to a writer for advice. She wasn't happy in her profession, but her parents had pressured her into it. The author suggested that her subconscious mind knows about her hidden talents, and if she finds a way to connect with it, she'll get answers to her questions. Before going to bed, the teacher repeated in her mind, "Show me the right place in life where I can present myself in the best way using my limitless power. I have a good salary with honesty and truth, but I'm not happy with it. I want something that brings me joy." With that thought, she fell asleep. On the very first night, she had a really clear dream where she saw herself in a big building. There was a guy pointing toward a door, telling her to go inside. When she stepped in, she noticed beautiful paintings on the walls. She got completely lost in those paintings and thought to herself, "This is it." Meaning she had finally found the perfect place she had been searching for. She called the writer and told them she was starting to learn painting and that she had quit her teaching job. Almost immediately, she fell in love with painting. His hidden talent came to light, and now he's super successful. Recently, he sold a beautiful painting to a writer for $200. Right from his first exhibition, he made $500 in sales among his old professional friends and a few close buddies. There's no problem in revealing your dreams, as long as you don't hold yourself back in your subconscious mind. The moral of the story is that the ability to fulfill our dreams lies within us. We can achieve whatever we want, as long as we believe in it. Keep a positive and confident attitude. When we're clear and determined about our dreams and program our subconscious mind to achieve them, they start to become a reality. However, if we allow negative thoughts and emotions, like fear, doubt, or feelings of helplessness, to creep in, they can hold us back from realizing our dreams. For example, if we dream of becoming a successful businessman, but are constantly afraid of failing, we won't take the necessary steps to make that dream come true. If we keep sending our subconscious mind the message that we're not capable of achieving our dreams, then those dreams won't come true. So, if we want to make our dreams a reality, we need to get rid of negative thoughts and emotions. We should program our subconscious mind to help us achieve our dreams. Plus, we need to maintain a positive attitude and belief in ourselves. We have to create a clear and strong resolution that will guide us on the path to reaching our goals. The next step in achieving what we want in life is to make a plan to reach our dreams. This way, we can set target goals and take steps that will lead us toward those dreams. It's also important to keep a positive mindset because it helps us stay happy and believe that we can make our dreams come true. We should also program our subconscious mind to help us achieve our dreams so we can steer our mental focus in the direction of our goals. When we take action on everything, we increase our chances of fulfilling our dreams and boost our success rate toward our goals. In this episode, you learned how telepsychics reveal answers to our questions with the help of dreams. It's like a program for our minds that uses our activities as its source to give us output. If you want similar problem-solving results from your subconscious mind, you need to know about the effective techniques of telepsychics. If you're interested in learning more, just let me know. In our next episode, don't miss out on hearing about effective telepsychics techniques and the process of prayers. The writer explains the power of prayers and how they work. He says that we are the ones who respond to our own prayers. The real deal is that what we truly think is what our subconscious mind accepts and brings into our lives, whether it's true or false. The writer explains how the subconscious mind works, similar to how people start doing what they're told in hypnosis. Now let's take a look at how the subconscious mind works. similar to how people start doing what they're told in hypnosis. This means that what we think is what tends to happen. People see God as the superpower of their subconscious mind. It's not about religion. All the powers of God are within us, and so is His kingdom. The strength lies in our thoughts and imagination. Instead of begging a distant God, recognize the intelligence inside you. In this book, the author explains that we become what we think. He shares a story from his life when he got lost in the jungle, and a fairy-like figure came to his rescue. This shows that when we truly believe, our subconscious mind responds. Exercise is effective, and bad mental health is a worry. It starts to happen that way, but remember, it's not just about blind faith. You also need good judgment. So recognize your inner strength and be thoughtful when you make your prayers. That's when they're approved. The book also mentions that our prayers are heard even before we say them, just like it says in the Bible. So scientific thinkers don't just need to ask for what they want, they need to recognize their inner power and believe that what they desire has already been given to them. We're all one. We're all connected to a certain power that's within us. So we need to change our mindset and think about what we truly want in life. That's when it will come to us. The writer suggests that what we ask for is already in God's mind, so instead of just asking for things, we should look within ourselves to find them and have faith. What we think is what we create, so we shouldn't think negatively, but keep a positive attitude. When we believe that we can achieve anything, that's when it comes to us. The writer sees God as both a principle and a personality. They say we should all think about the true paths and try to bring the good qualities of God into ourselves. We can feel God everywhere, and if we keep our thoughts positive, we can develop a good personality like God. The writer explains prayers in a different way, saying that we are the ones who create our own power and happiness. There's a lot of emphasis on inner strength, and this episode teaches us that by keeping our thoughts right, we can achieve what we want in life. To understand the power of prayer better, we need to delve deeper into it. We'll see you next episode, when we'll learn how to use Telepsychics for prayers that never fail. So, all the Telepsychics enthusiasts, don't forget to join us next time. In this chapter, the writer emphasizes that having faith is crucial for praying, but they also mention that faith isn't just about religion, it's a way of thinking. When we truly believe in something and think about it positively, it gets ingrained in us and can change our lives. So, always stay positive while praying, cried the monk, drinking violet left and right through his tongue. Think with confidence, and that's when you get heard. Writers say that just like every profession has its own rules, our thoughts do too. Chemists, doctors, and farmers all follow the rules of their work, so we should follow the rules of our thinking. Praying means believing that our thoughts have a lot of power and can change our lives. So, the right mindset is our strength. Trust in it, and it will work for you. The writer uses a Bible verse to explain that if we believe in something with confidence, it will happen. The strength within us is really powerful, and it responds to our thoughts. So it's important for us to think about good things and feel them. That's how they come into our lives. Now, it makes you wonder why some prayers get answered and others don't. The writer believes it's wrong to think that God listens more to people of a certain faith. Everyone needs to understand the power of their thoughts and follow the rules. And then they can achieve what they want. Getting answers to prayers is a given. You just need to have the right mindset. Religion doesn't play a role in this. The writer goes on to tell a story about a man whose wife's prayers always get answered and her problems are solved. But for the man, it's a different story. None of his wishes have come true so far. Understanding this, the writer points out that God treats everyone equally, no matter what religion they follow. If you just understand the rules of life and keep your mind set right, you can fulfill your desires. Now, the question is how our thoughts and prayers are connected, the writer explains. If we want something but don't really believe we can have it, it just doesn't happen. There was this guy who wanted to succeed at his job, but deep down he thought it would never happen. Even though he prayed every day, his prayers never gave him any positive results. So it's really important that we believe in what we think and pray sincerely. That's when we start seeing positive outcomes. There's another story about a woman who was struggling with money and was scared of losing her home. The writer uses this example to illustrate the point. It explains that fear and tension only add to our problems, but if we trust in the power of our thoughts, we can attract balance into our lives. This woman changed her mindset and started thinking positively, which helped resolve her issues. This story proves that our thinking plays a crucial role in our lives, and we tend to create what we think. Finally, the writer suggests that when faced with problems, we shouldn't hold on to the troubles, but instead trust our inner strength and keep a positive mindset. Always keep in mind that something good is coming, because we have an infinite strength inside us that can fix everything. So when problems arise, don't be afraid. Understand yourself and keep moving forward with confidence, and everything will turn out fine. Overall, this chapter emphasizes that trust is crucial when it comes to prayer. It explains that what we think is what happens, so it's important to think positively and believe in that. Fear and stress only make problems worse, so stay positive and trust in your inner strength. It also shares insights and examples from the Bible on how we can change our mindset. Life can change, so always remember to stay happy and think positively. That's how you'll get what you want. Different types of prayers work for effective telekinesis. In the next episode, we'll explore how to reach the mysterious sources of telekinesis. This episode is going to be super interesting because we'll dive deeper into telekinesis. So, stay tuned for the next episode where we'll reveal this secret. The writer explains that the power within us is really strong and can help us achieve anything. They tell stories of people who can achieve anything through the power of their thoughts. There's a verse in the Bible that explains how the strength within us is way more powerful than our conscious thoughts, and it can really help us. The writer shares a story about a woman living in New York who practiced meditation to boost her inner strength. One night, she dreamed of her deceased husband, warning her about a gas leak in their home. Because of that dream, she got up early and checked the gas, which saved her young son. The writer explains that we're all connected in a way that allows us to think about anyone, whether they're alive or not, which means we can even get warnings in our dreams. We're all interlinked. There's a story about a woman whose problems only get worse despite her prayers. The writer points out that whatever we focus on tends to grow, whether it's negative or positive. Our minds don't distinguish. They just believe in the focus. This woman started thinking about negative things and it spiraled from there. The fact that his problem wasn't solved shows that our inner strength works according to our mindset. If we think negatively, the problems get worse. But if we think positively, things get better, just like a real estate broker who achieved all his success with the help of telepsychics. The writer mentions that this broker prayed every night for God to help him make the right decisions. One day he had a dream where he saw a symbol from the I Ching, which he had read about before. She understood the message behind that symbol and made her decision, which turned out to be the right one. Similarly, she made several decisions in her life. Our mind connects with the energy in the universe, which you can call universal energy or God. It communicates with our subconscious mind and shows us the right path in a way we can understand. This can come in the form of a symbol, a person, or anything else. The writer mentions a girl who studied psychology and religion. She had a dream where she encountered The writer hints at reading a book and doing ministry in a different faith. They explain that such hints mean our inner strength communicates with us through dreams and shows us the right path in life. This girl believed in everything she saw in her dreams and acted on it. She started studying the I Ching and decided to pursue ministry in a different faith, which turned out to be the right choice for her. It benefited her a lot. Telepsychics play a crucial role in solving many problems. Another example of telepsychics is when a student managed to predict the questions that would come up in his exam with the help of psychic abilities and regular practice. He was a Chinese student who communicated with his inner strength, seeking guidance and wisdom. He referred to this inner strength as his higher self and spoke to it daily, asking for guidance to achieve success in life. This practice paid off for him, as he was able to grasp the exam questions in advance and found the right way to approach reading the I Ching book, all thanks to his regular practice and subconscious mind. The writer explains that keeping a connection with our mind is important because the strength within us can really help us out. By talking to ourselves, we can find the right path. Through all these stories, the writer wants to convey that whatever we desire can come into our lives. Just like it says in the Bible, if we truly want something, it can manifest. We can openly share our problems with our subconscious mind, which can help us overcome the challenges in our lives. If we ask for help from God with an open mind, He can guide us and help change our lives. The writer shares a story about a woman who had issues with her heart rate increasing because she was stressed and panicking. She read verses from the 27th Psalm in the Bible that talked about trusting in God. Instead of panicking, she focused on positive thoughts, and her heart rate normalized on its own. This shows that our mindset can change our lives, and good things can happen to us. The writer emphasizes this point. Our inner strength is really powerful, and we can use it to our advantage. They share stories about people who have created miracles in their lives through the power of their thoughts. They also explain that if we pray sincerely to God and think positively, we can solve our problems and be happy. So, always seek guidance with positive thoughts. That's how you can be happy and successful in life. Through some simple stories, we can explore how we reach the mysterious sources of telepathy. In the next episode, you'll meet how telepsychics use the fourth dimension to answer every prayer question. So, stay tuned to hear some unique stories from this book by Joseph Murphy. The author explains that the answers to the problems we face in life might be hidden within our own inner strength. He also clarifies that dreams and symbols come from a place called the fourth dimension, which can provide answers to our questions. He shares some interesting stories about this. We create people who understand their inner strength and use it to solve their problems. When you realize that we are all connected and can achieve anything with that inner power, just understand yourself and pay attention to your dreams and symbols. That's when you can find solutions to life's problems. For example, there's a story about a woman who lost her diamond ring. She was really upset and searched everywhere for it, but couldn't find it. Then she tried a different approach. Before going to bed, she would think about it. She had a ring on her hand and was grateful to God for it. One day she dreamed about where the ring was, woke up, went to that spot, and found the ring. This shows that if we think positively and trust in God, we can achieve anything. There's also a story about a school teacher who was really troubled and felt lonely. She dreamed of a radiant child talking to her and thought it was a sign from God, so she tried to connect with the strength inside her. She started making changes in her life and became happy and confident. This shows that if we understand our inner strength and connect with God, we can change our lives. There was a widowed woman who felt very lonely, so to ease her pain, she started meditating for 23 minutes. A voice inside her told her to fulfill the needs of others. Then she began volunteering at a hospital, helping veterans and trying to ease their suffering. This not only helped her loneliness, but also gave her life a new purpose. The author is sharing an interesting insight about the subconscious mind. They mention how the subconscious mind gives us ideas, like how Robert Louis Stevenson dreamed up the story of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. The author points out that the subconscious mind is a creative power that works with our thoughts and desires. The story illustrates how important it is for a successful person to credit an invisible guide, whom they refer to as God, for their investment decisions. It's their subconscious mind that has learned from everything. Wrote, he listens to that inner voice, which is called clairaudience, where you hear things without using your eyes. It's a story about a drunk man trying to quit drinking. One day he decides he's never going to drink again, and he imagines himself happy after giving it up. Then he dreams about his dead family, who inspire him to live his life around. In this chapter, the author also tells the story of a sergeant who gets stuck in the jungles of Vietnam, and when everything seems tough, he just keeps going. And the guy keeps reading a line from a book, and then he dreams about his deceased brother, who shows him the way. This boosts his courage, and he survives. At the end of the story, there's a sad mum whose son died in the Vietnam War, and she's thinking about ending her life. The author explains to her that life never really ends, and our minds can solve any problem. He teaches her to let go of her son and put him in God's hands, encouraging her to think positively. This helps her regain her strength, and she starts living peacefully. The book conveys that message. Our subconscious mind is super powerful, and there are stories that show how it can change us. The author also explains how we can control our subconscious and improve ourselves. In today's episode, we learned how telekinesis supports our prayers and helps solve our problems. There's a lot more to discover about telekinesis, including real-life examples and stories, so make sure to catch the next episode. The Millionaire. Forget everything. In this chapter, we dive into the mysterious world of telepsychics. It's all about that power we can tap into to unlock the deep capabilities of our minds. The story kicks off with an intriguing tale about a woman who witnessed a burning aeroplane in Spain and, through prayer, managed to save 2 lives. There's also a retired Air Force officer who shares his experience of escaping a plane crash in Vietnam. He believes that our minds are incredibly powerful and can reach another dimension. The story talks about how a person can avoid injury and mentions ascetics who walk on fire. It explains that it's all about belief and controlling the mind. The whole story shows that our thoughts can change our lives. Think of it like this: we can create our happiness and health using the power of our minds. To reinforce this idea, the story includes anecdotes from great people and verses from the Bible. Whilst there's also a detective story in there that explores what's going on in a person's mind. Clear voice is what they call a sound that can solve even the toughest cases just by listening. The story highlights how our subconscious mind, which we're not aware of, connects with our superconscious mind, which is even higher than us, and how this connection can reveal a lot to us. This chapter explains that we can tap into our hidden strength to overcome problems and anxiety. There's a story about a woman who talked to her higher self to conquer her troubles. It's about a way where we tell ourselves that we're strong and that God's power is within us. There's also a story about a woman who sees a future event in her dream that poses a threat to her husband. She turns to the I Ching, the Chinese book of divination, to seek God's help using its power along with the truth from the Bible. Her faith is incredibly strong, and when her husband faces danger, he manages to survive. This story shows that our faith can impact our lives when we elevate our mindset. If we go for it, we can avoid losses. What we think is what we do. If we think positively, good things happen. Believing in ourselves during tough times is super important. If we believe that everything will be fine, it usually turns out that way. At the end of the chapter, it says that if we think something is possible, it can actually happen. The book talks about how we can achieve a lot by tapping into the hidden powers of our minds. These powers connect us to a higher force and can change our lives through our thoughts and beliefs. It includes stories from which we can learn a lot. It's about how to overcome challenges, stay happy, and get through tough times by leaning on faith. It also talks about how believing that something is possible can actually make it happen. So if you want to change your life, understanding telepsychics is important. In this episode, we learn how telepsychics help create the magic of faith. In the next episode, we'll explore how to tap into the hidden power of our beliefs and minds with telepsychics. So don't miss it. In Telepsychics, the author explains that there's a strong connection between belief and the hidden power of the mind. Belief is described as a way of thinking that drives us forward and connects us to the true principles of life. It's not about religion, it's about the power of our thoughts and having faith in the infinite intelligence within us. The book illustrates that belief is present in everything we do, whether it's baking a cake or driving a car. We rely on belief in all aspects of life. It also explains that just like learning to drive or swim, belief works in a similar way when we try something new. When you keep doing something over and over, your mind starts to take over and you do it without even thinking. There's this story about a guy who was supposed to have surgery and it could have killed him, but he had faith and believed in the power of prayer. During the surgery, he had an out-of-body experience and was able to see everything happening. He ended up recovering, and it was all because of his belief that God has the power to save him. The book also mentions that faith isn't just for those who believe in God. Even people who don't believe still have their own forms of faith. When we take medicine, we believe it's going to work, right? Everyone has faith in something whether they admit it or not. The book also says that we can use faith and telepathic abilities to tackle everyday problems. There's a story about a couple who were worried about how to care for their sick mother. They decided to trust the hidden power of their minds and prayed to God for guidance. They believed that God would help them. The story goes on to say that their mother passed away peacefully. She left, and it was the power of prayer that made a difference. The author explains that there's a connection between dreams and the hidden power of the mind. Dreams come from within us and can even serve as warnings. In the story, there's a guy who had a dream about a plane crash, and then it actually happened. This shows that sometimes dreams can give us a glimpse of the future, so we should try to understand their meaning. There was also a guy who lost a lot of money gambling, but he believed in the hidden power of his mind and thought he could win the money back. He used to think every day that he could win, and he believed it would happen. In a dream, he saw himself winning money. When he got transferred to Las Vegas, he went to that dream spot to gamble and actually won a lot of money. This story shows that if we think and believe that something can happen, it really can. The book explains that when everyone is anxious and stressed, we should keep our minds happy and calm. It's important to stay positive to avoid negative thinking, which means telling ourselves good things and believing in them. 5 classics for better. It's really good to keep this kind of thinking in mind because it helps reduce stress. The book Telepsychics explains that with the power of belief, telepathy, and the hidden strengths of our minds, our lives can change. It emphasizes that we should always believe our minds are powerful and can help us achieve anything. We can use telepsychics to tackle life's problems. In this episode, we learn just how powerful our minds are and how much can be changed with them, as explained in the book. Jules explained that with belief and the power of telekinesis, we can achieve a lot in life. Don't forget to tune into the next episode to learn more amazing things about telekinesis. The author goes into detail about it in the book, emphasizing that it's important to think carefully and make decisions with the right mindset. It's also crucial to think quickly and stick to those decisions. The author uses stories and examples to show how people can make good choices using the power of their minds. The story highlights that doing the right thing in the world has its own unique value. The principle is that when we think positively and have the intention to help others, making decisions becomes easier. People who are successful in different fields make quick decisions and follow through with them. The book explains that not making a decision is also a decision in itself. It's a choice where you decide not to decide. It emphasizes not letting your choices be swayed by the foolish crowd or outside pressures. The story illustrates that people should take control of their minds to avoid being influenced by the wrong ideas and thoughts of group thinking. There's a girl in the story. Someone who's confused about saying yes or no to marriage changes their mindset and prays. In a dream, they realize the guy isn't right for them, and in the end, their marriage falls apart with both agreeing. This story shows that people have the power to make their own decisions, which is really important. The author emphasizes that when making decisions, we should remember to think positively and do good deeds. The Bible teaches the same thing. A guy loses his job, but manages to turn his life around by changing his way of thinking. He ignores the negativity from his friends and focuses on himself. Staying positive with his talent and experience, he lands a great new job. There's also a prayer in the book that helps make the right decisions. This prayer reminds us that our subconscious mind has a lot of power and our decisions align with universal rules. Think about it. O Lord, enlighten my mind so I can make the right choices. Let the infinite energy of my subconscious guide me, and may my decisions be for the greater good. There's a story about a disabled man who saves his boats during a storm. This story shows us that in tough times, The story shows that people have hidden strength that can come out in tough times. It tells us that when danger strikes, folks can push through their weaknesses to save their loved ones. To put it simply, there's a scene where an injured man manages to rescue his grandparents and kids during a storm. This shows that in a crisis, people tap into a powerful force within them, making thoughtful decisions and doing whatever it takes to protect their family. The book suggests that it's not enough to just leave everything up to God. We need to empower ourselves to take action. This book shows the power of our thinking and how it can change anything. It's great to have faith in God, but don't see yourself as weak. Use your mind and make your own decisions. You can achieve a lot. The story talks about how Dr. Emmett Fox decided to go to America and talk to thousands of people, and that one decision changed his life. At the end of the book, there are some important points, like keeping good principles in mind to make the right choices, since situations keep changing as we age. Knowledge grows, and the book says we should make decisions wisely, do good things, and believe that our thoughts and decisions shape our lives. The author, Murphy, gives several examples of how telepsychics can help us make the right decisions. We hope you're getting a clear understanding of telepsychics. In the next episode, we'll learn how to tap into the hidden powers of our mind with telepsychics to do amazing things in our lives. So stay tuned. Telepsychics harness the power of your subconscious mind. It talks about real-life stories and easy tips on how to make better decisions and effectively use your subconscious mind to improve your life. Basically, the book says that the part of your mind that keeps thinking is really powerful. By thinking positively and using that power wisely, you can change your life. It's about people who tapped into their hidden strength, like their subconscious mind, to heal from illness, make the right choices, and solve tough problems. One woman even regained her vision. To stay healthy, she used to talk to her hidden wisdom and creative intelligence, reassuring herself that she would recover. Similarly, there was a man who, when he faced financial troubles, relied on his kids' prayers. One day, a friend stepped in to help him, resolving his issues. This book explains how our thoughts and beliefs can significantly influence our subconscious mind, potentially aligning things with our mindset. It also emphasizes the importance of forgiveness and thinking positively. It's really important to keep an open mind so we can tap into the hidden power of our brains. The book has some simple prayers and ideas that can help us awaken our inner strength to heal our illnesses and tackle challenges. This story also shows that by communicating with our hidden mind, we can find answers and the right path forward. This is called telepsychics. It includes stories of people like scientist Bill Lear, who used his hidden mind to create new things and move ahead. Lear has made 28 crore rupees, and it's all because they tapped into their hidden mind. The book says that the secret to their success is understanding this. It also explains that our thoughts and feelings can change our subconscious mind, whether they're good or bad. This change can impact everything that happens in our lives. That's why the book emphasizes that we should trust ourselves like children do, without any doubt, and have faith in the power of our hidden mind. This is what the end of the chapter talks about. It's like when a thirsty person sees water and feels happy. We should feel the same joy when our desires are fulfilled. That's how our hidden mind works better. This whole idea connects with action and reaction. What we think and hope for influences how our hidden mind affects us in return. In this book about telepathy, it explains that by awakening the hidden power of our mind, we can achieve a lot. It includes true stories and tips on how we can use our hidden mind to heal illnesses. Brass. The author explains in this chapter how we can make the right decisions and achieve what we want in life through the power of telepsychics. They talk about how tapping into our hidden mind can bring about significant changes in our lives. In the next episode, we'll explore how telepsychics can help us find happiness and prosperity. So, stay tuned for the next episode. Episode 309. Telepsychics can bring great things into your life. It's all about unlocking our hidden potential, which is essentially about boosting the power of our subconscious mind, according to the author. There are some stories about how people overcame difficulties and achieved great things by tapping into their hidden minds. It starts with a woman who feels devastated when her husband leaves her after 30 years of marriage for another woman. But the book explains that even in tough times, we should look for happiness, because our subconscious mind is incredibly powerful and can help us change. When the woman communicates with her subconscious and truly forgives her husband, accepting what happened, she begins to move forward. After a while, a good person comes into his life, and they're financially savvy. It's like a guy who wasn't doing well before, but when he talked to himself and changed his mindset, he ended up becoming a successful minister. This shows how our thoughts can change our lives. The book tells us that what we think can actually happen in our lives. If we think positively about things like happiness, health, and money, those things will come into our lives too. Bad thoughts can lead to problems, so the book suggests we should have good, positive thoughts, like God. Praying is also a good way to think, and it helps us solve our issues. There's a story about a little boy who talks to his subconscious mind every night through prayers. One night he dreams that his mum is about to get hurt from a gas leak. He wakes up right away, rushes to the kitchen, finds the gas is on, and turns it off just in time to save his mum. It prevents accidents, which shows that we all have a subconscious power within us that can protect us and guide us on the right path. We just need to learn how to communicate with it. There's another story about a woman who feels anger and jealousy towards her ex-husband. She really hates him. Because of that, she struggles to get things done in her life. To solve her problems, she starts using telekinesis and forgives all her past mistakes and people. After that, her life changes drastically. With this, a new and good relationship comes into her life, and she starts feeling really happy. Love and positive thinking can push away the bad stuff and fill our lives with joy, peace, and even money. We can change our lives by tapping into the hidden strength within us. There are real stories of people who talked things out with their minds, overcame challenges, healed from illnesses, and found happiness. If we keep our thoughts positive and listen to our inner voice, we can achieve everything we want, with a little help from Telepsychics. Today, we learned about how to achieve happiness and prosperity in life. In the next episode, we'll dive into Telepsychics and some special powers and benefits. Dr. Joseph Murphy has laid out all the powers of Telepsychics in this chapter. He explains how Telepsychics can change our lives. There's a proven technique to connect with the subconscious mind through meditation. It includes real-life stories and simple ways to enhance your mind's power, helping you overcome challenges. Good things can happen in your life, making it much happier. The book starts with the story of a listener, Louis Main Lord, who credits Dr. Murphy's teachings for changing his life. Struggling with financial, spiritual, and family issues, Louis transformed his life by adopting positive thoughts based on the principles outlined in Dr. Murphy's book, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. He shares how participating in Dr. Murphy's speeches and applying his guidance significantly improved his life. The business thrived, and he built a beautiful home while his family was complete. There was this builder who relied on his dreams to solve his problems. Before going to sleep, he would talk to his subconscious mind and ask for solutions, and he would get answers in his dreams. One time when he needed a big loan, he ran into an old banker friend in his dream, and with his help, he secured the loan. Essentially, the builder solved his problems through his dreams. When he needed a loan, the banker showed up in his dream and helped him get it. The book says that thinking ahead is key. If you think about finding solutions to your problems, you might just get answers in your dreams. This way, you can get rid of issues that seem unsolvable. There's another story about a daughter-in-law who didn't get along with her mother-in-law. When she realized the power of her own thoughts, she changed her mindset and kept telling herself to stay happy and calm about her mother-in-law. Eventually, her mother-in-law left the house after a few days. This shows how connecting our thoughts with infinite presence can change our lives. It says that it's really important to avoid negativity and the bad things that others say. There's a story about a leader who was troubled by people's lies and insults. Then he started to feel a divine presence within himself. By doing this, he learned to protect himself from what others said, and he stopped being bothered, because he realized he was strong inside. Then he read Dr. Murphy's book. The book talked about positive affirmations, and it changed his life. He got married, started a new job, and began to feel happy again. Dr. Custer talks about word therapy, which is an easy way to feel good about yourself. Basically, you just need to quietly repeat some words in your mind, like peace, courage, or victory. These words help awaken your inner strength. Dr. Custer says that doing this can lead to positive changes in your life. The book has a lot of important points we should always remember, like what Dr. Murphy says. His ideas can change your life. By reading his books and listening to his lectures, you can make your life happier. Another key takeaway is the power of your dreams. Before you know something, find a solution to your problems. You might just get the answers in your dreams. The key is to learn to live happily, get rid of negative thoughts, love yourself, and always think positively. Don't let what others say bother you. Feel the strength within you, and never forget to stay happy. Even in tough times, you should hold on to hope. Positive affirmations and a change in mindset can bring good things into your life. Lastly, use the power of words. Think about words like peace, courage, and victory repeatedly to uplift yourself. You can really feel good with these easy methods that you can try anytime to make your life better. These tips are super important. Telepsychics teaches how to tap into the hidden power of your mind to change your life. Through books and stories, it shows how to overcome challenges to find happiness and success. Thanks to Telepsychics, you can keep your mind calm and happy and move forward in life. Thanks. In this episode, we explored how the power of Telepsychics has changed people's lives. We can change our lives too. To learn more about some examples of Telepsychics, stay tuned for our next episode. You might just find a solution to a big problem in your life. This book about Telepsychics explains how they can transform and beautify people's lives. It shares stories of how folks changed their mindset and brought amazing changes to their lives. Like how love saved a marriage that was on the verge of falling apart. It's all about how changing your thoughts can lead to what you really want. They just got married, but the couple was constantly fighting due to anger and lack of trust. To solve their issues, they went to see Dr. Murphy, who explained that their problem stemmed from not receiving enough love in childhood. The husband was quiet because he wasn't feeling well. To fix everything, they both needed to change. So the doctor suggested they try mirror treatment, and they did for a matter of weeks. Mirror treatment is a simple yet powerful technique where the wife stands in front of a mirror every day, expressing love for herself and sharing her happiness. He didn't even talk to his mum properly, but when the guy found out about Telepsychics, he asked for help from his subconscious mind. It suggested that he try to understand and love his mum. So when he did that, his life completely changed, and he started seeing himself in a whole new light. Then there's the third story, about a businessman whose business went downhill, and he was really stressed out. He went to see Dr. Murphy for help, and Dr. Murphy told him to change his thoughts and love his family, especially his daughter. He started doing well in business just by thinking and talking about studying and security. He got better, and his daughter finished her studies. The fourth story is about a girl who lifted a car worth £1,500 to save her dad's life. Out of love for him, she put in the effort. She thought it through really well and wanted to save her dad, which wasn't easy at all. The fifth story is about a waiter whose dream was to sing and earn applause from the crowd with his talent. Every night he imagined himself on stage. He used to see people singing, clapping, and dancing with joy, and doing that completely changed his life. A few days later, he actually became a singer. All these stories show that if we really want something and visualize ourselves achieving it, it can become a reality. To put it simply, we become what we think we are. The book talks about changing your life through telekinesis and offers a bunch of easy methods along with stories of people whose mindsets have shifted. Our thoughts shape our lives. We can build relationships, make progress, or fight through challenges. All of it is tied to our mindset and feelings. Dr. Murphy teaches in his book how to tap into the hidden strength within us and bring positive changes to our lives. That's all for today's episode. In the next episode, we'll explore how telepsychics can be used to unlock new powers in your subconscious mind. This book is all about the hidden strength in our brains, specifically the subconscious mind, and how we can use it to create positive changes in our lives. This book talks about the importance of both the conscious and subconscious mind. The conscious mind is the part that thinks and understands, while the subconscious mind is connected to immense knowledge and power. It also explains how these two minds are linked. The author discusses how to tap into your hidden strengths through creative ideas. There are some simple tips too, like sitting in a quiet place and chanting mantras, and keeping yourself open to whatever comes your way. The book includes stories of people who have used these methods to find happiness and success in their lives. Telepsychics can also be used to make important decisions. There's a story about a teacher who was confused about a job offer, so before going to bed, she asked her subconscious mind for an answer, and when she woke up, she had the answer to her question. The author explains how we can use the power of telepsychics in our everyday lives too. A guy asked his subconscious mind for a lucky number and ended up winning a huge lottery. All these examples show that to make these methods work, you need to have faith and trust, because the subconscious mind is always connected to deeper knowledge. That's why it keeps giving us creative ideas. It's not just at night or in dreams that we can tap into our intuition. We can also use it during the day to solve problems. For instance, a businessman can talk to his subconscious mind to get insights for his business. To find new ideas, it's important to sit quietly, relax, and think about the answers until they come to you. There's a connection between telepsychics and creative geniuses. There are stories of great scientists, sages, musicians, and artists who credit their discoveries and creativity to intuition, divine inspiration, or sudden ideas because they tap into telepsychics. Interestingly, every 20 years, a US president dies, which seems like a curse on the country. It's thought that if a president can strengthen their spirituality and repeat positive affirmations and protective mantras in their subconscious mind, they can break this curse. At the end of the chapter, the author talks about the I Ching, an ancient book of divination that's 5,000 years old, also known as the Book of Changes. The writer shares stories of people who found their answers through the I Ching, and those answers turned out to be true. This shows that the I Ching can also tap into hidden spiritual powers. The book can help us with prayers and affirmations that can boost our strength to avoid harm. It's important to keep positive thoughts and affirmations in our subconscious mind so that negative thoughts can't affect us. The power of telekinesis is infinite. It has no limits. By using this power, you can elevate your life from the ground to the skies. Staying happy, making the right decisions, and enhancing your creativity is an easy way to do this, as explained in detail in the book. As you start to understand your mind better and train it properly, when you connect activities to yourself, telekinesis starts giving you different powers, which adds a certain mastery to your words, making whatever affirmations you make start to come true. Overall, to understand and learn telekinesis, you need to have all the information about it that we've shared in the previous episodes. We'll cover the rest in the next episode. This book on telekinesis is super powerful and can be useful in everyone's life because it's based on real-life experiences. The author has experienced these things firsthand, which is why they say that we can change our lives through our thoughts. Thinking is a powerful tool that helps us achieve what we want. Ralph Waldo Emerson mentioned that only those who can think can truly own their thoughts, meaning we can change our mindset any time. It just takes a genuine desire. What you consistently think about affects your happiness, success, and peace of mind. Your thoughts shape your work and your life. Shakespeare once said that our thoughts belong to us, but their outcomes don't. What that means is what you think can become your reality. So if you're always thinking about being happy and successful, that can actually happen. However, it's really important to have a genuine interest in those thoughts, because when you're truly passionate about something, you're more likely to achieve it. There's a story about a salesman who was feeling stressed and worn out because of some issues with his fiancée, but when he talked it out with her, once all the problems were sorted out, their stress and exhaustion just vanished. This shows that our mind and body are connected. For happiness and health, we need to change our feelings and thoughts. It highlights the importance of positive thinking. We should adopt a mindset that is always truthful and right, filled with justice, love, and compassion. Fear and problems can hold us back from thinking clearly. So the writer suggests that we should focus on moving our thoughts forward and not get caught up in what's happening, but rather think about what's true. The writer is addressing everyday people. People often think that when a lot of folks have a negative mindset about something, it can really mess things up. This kind of negative thinking is referred to as the law of averages. There's a story in the book about how a guy managed to shift his mindset and ended up finding success in his work. The writer points out that confessing your mistakes and forgiving yourself can change your life. They share a story about a man who was troubled because of his mistakes, but once he confessed, his worries started to fade away. Cleaning your wounds makes them heal faster, just like confessing your mistakes can help reduce the problems tied to them. William Shakespeare once said that confessing is like cleaning a wound. Our body and mind change every 11 months, just like we change our old clothes. This means we can reinvent ourselves at any time. The power to change teaches you that you can transform your life with your thoughts. For that, you need to have the right mindset and move past what others think. This chapter dives into some spiritual insights. This episode gives you insights about the mind and shares people's stories that can help you live a happy and successful life. We explored how we are connected to telepsychics and infinite knowledge, along with many other interesting aspects related to telepsychics that can benefit us in the future. Let's continue this fascinating journey into telepsychics, and in the next episode, we'll discover how telepsychics relate to the mind's rules through the power of music stimulation and prayer, along with a real-life example. There was a woman whose husband was an alcoholic, and she wanted to pray for him to quit drinking. She believed that we can pray for others, not just for ourselves, because our problems don't define us. They're only temporary. By praying for others, we tap into our hidden strength and help them as well as ourselves. The book explains how to pray during tough times and how to connect with the divine within us. Summary of word. The writer has provided positive affirmations like peace, harmony, and divine love, along with a specific prayer to help awaken divine strength and ask for support. There's also a story about a man who believed that an evil spirit had taken over him, but the writer explained that the evil spirit was actually a product of his own mind, fueled by anger and hatred. With the help of prayer and counseling, the man was able to reduce the negativity inside him and overcome the issues he was facing. There was this girl who had a dream about a treasure being behind her. She believed in that dream and started digging at the spot she saw in her dream. After digging, she actually found some gold coins there, which helped solve a lot of her problems. Through this story, the writer shows that dreams can reveal hidden things and powers. There's also the story of a widow who wanted to remarry. Every night she had a dream about it. She misses it, but after meeting that woman with Dr. Murphy, she realized that the dream actually symbolizes missing out on a wedding opportunity. This helped her understand the meaning of her dreams, and she ended up finding a great new partner. It shows that dreams can guide us, so we should pay attention to our subconscious messages. The writer shares a story about a woman whose negative thoughts negatively impacted her feelings and health, illustrating how powerful our mindset can be. The writer says that we can change our thinking, which is why they recommend using affirmations. Affirmations are short, positive sentences that we repeat with feeling to help create a positive mindset. The writer has provided some affirmations that anyone can use to shift their thinking in a positive direction. They acknowledge that strange things can happen during sessions, like moving things around or making objects float, but the writer explains that it's our subconscious mind that perceives those things and can move them. We all have our experiences, but sometimes we think things are true when they really aren't. It could just be our own illusion. The idea of having the power to change ourselves shows that we can solve our problems and live a happy, successful life through our thoughts, prayers, and the hidden strength of our minds. It explains how praying, maintaining a positive mindset, and understanding how to use our mental power can transform our lives. Everything here is based on spiritual concepts and evidence, and by following this, you can change your life on your own. We've reached the final stage of telepsychics. From the beginning until now, we've covered everything about telepsychics from A to Z. In this last episode, we'll go over the final points related to telepsychics, so keep listening and sharing knowledge. We've arrived at the last chapter of telepsychics, as written by Dr. Joseph Murphy. The writer has explained everything you need to perform telepsychics. They emphasize that our subconscious mind is everything. It controls our body and helps us remember. It stays with us and communicates through our dreams, but it often says things we don't quite get. That's why we can send it messages using methods like hypnosis and make a bunch of changes in our lives. Some people have strange abilities, like Geraldine Cumin. She could see and feel things that others couldn't. The book also talks about trance, which is a state where people get lost in themselves and can learn a lot during that time. The writer also mentions automatic writing, which is an art where people feel like some people claim they can communicate with the spirits of the dead and get insights about the future. It's like they have this strange power to read others' thoughts or go into a trance and reveal hidden things. Some can even move or shift objects just using their mind. But it's important to note that not everyone has these abilities, and using them isn't always the right thing to do. Sometimes dreams and inner voices give us signals to help us avoid problems. The writer talks about one such ship officer. There's a story where the inner voice gave a signal to avoid a similar problem, highlighting how our conscious and subconscious minds sometimes send us important messages. Sometimes people try to contact the dead to see if they can communicate with them. The writer mentions that the speaker has also talked to some individuals who have performed this kind of communication and claims that the voices they hear are actually from their loved ones. However, the speaker also notes that it's not at all clear if those voices are real. The writer talks about whether or not people who die have any lingering presence. They suggest that we should think twice before believing such things. Some people can figure things out about others just by touching objects, like their name, personality, or what they're thinking. The writer states that we're all connected by the same energy, which can also be found in objects. That's why some people can feel this energy and learn about others by touching things. They mention that black magic, rituals, and negative thoughts can really impact our minds, but we can protect ourselves from these effects by changing our thinking. There is a story about a guy who thought he was under a spell, but he turned things around with positive affirmations and realizing that we all have a divine power within us, his troubles just faded away. Sometimes people write things as if someone is guiding their hand. Some believe these messages come from the spirits of the deceased, but others argue it's just our mind at work, whether in this life or the next. So we should really think twice before believing in such things. That's the takeaway in the end. Our thoughts are like seeds. Just as a seed grows into a tree, our thoughts can transform and lead us to a better life. To illustrate this, Dr. Phineas Quimby's story is shared, highlighting how he could understand and heal others' troubles without any formal training. It shows just how powerful our minds are and how we can use that power to change our lives. This entire chapter goes into detail about dreams, prayer, affirmations, and the strength of the subconscious mind. It also explains how we can avoid our own problems. Kaunig. We've explored the incredible power of telepsychics in detail, how it works, how we can incorporate it into our lives, and the right way to go about it. There's so much more we learned in this book summary. This book, written by Dr. Joseph Murphy, is based on his personal experiences and those of others. While there's no scientific evidence supporting it, Dr. Murphy emphasizes the importance of believing in yourself and finding answers to your own questions. One effective way to solve any problem is that there's nothing more powerful than the mind. If you have a problem, the solution comes with it. So, keep practicing telepathy, because it's definitely going to bring you a lot of benefits.